Hey everybody, it's Andy Cloudy Marder, your self-proclaimed metal mogul. A few weeks back, when I posted video after about a year without posting, I said I was going to do 3 videos, and if I'd posted those videos, then I was going to do those 3 videos. Well, this isn't that 3rd video at all. I realised that what I just can't stand doing about the whole video thing on YouTube anymore is the planning. So this is something different, but something I've had in mind. So we're going to go with this one. That original 3rd one was going to be everything I picked up in 2024, but I kind of feel like I've missed the boat for 2024 videos. So instead, I'm going to take a little bit of a journey for what actually happened to me in 2024. Don't worry, this isn't a long story. By stopping buying everything and anything, I got deeper into my collection, and Thomas has got a thread out at the moment that's really good about knowing your collection and checking out albums you haven't done in a while. But I did that for a lot of last year. I might still do that video. I don't know. I'm not planning. But what I found myself, I got in the habit of listening to an album and then automatically wanting to listen to a particular album after that, and then after that and after that, and I ended up with there were 10 albums in total that I listened to for most of, certainly the latter part of 2024, that just were in constant rotation. I just found that when I listened to them, I had to listen to another one in this group because they all really became familiar to me in different ways. And it just so happens it's a nice round 10. I hadn't set out to, this wasn't one of those planned videos, 10 albums in constant rotation or 5 albums. It was literally, in fact, when I started putting these together, I was thinking there's 6 or 7 albums that I'm going to talk about tonight. And when I actually pulled them all out, thinking, oh yeah, there's this one as well and that one and this, it turned out that it was a nice round 10. So these are albums that were in constant rotation, and they're all in that traditional heavy metal mould. All but one. There's one that's a bit more thrash in there. There's some new wave of British heavy metal in here, but it's from music from around the globe. There's some French in there, I think, some American, some UK, all good stuff. But let me show you what they are, because there's 10 and it'll take a while otherwise. First of all, I've talked about these in at least one of the last 2 videos. Stormwitch. This was my find of 2024, and I found this in Jurgen's record collection, and he let me buy it off him. This is the originally out in 1984. This is the High Roller Records reissue from 2020. I think you could convince someone this was new wave of British heavy metal. It's kind of gothic themed lyrics. There's satanic styles in here. There's witches. There's all kinds of general bizarreness to it as well. It's raw. It's crude, and it's just really infectious as well. And this is the album I probably, even though I didn't pick it up until August or buy it off you until August, probably played this album more than any other in 2024. It's got Maiden influences, but there's also some Manowar in here as well, sort of that epic heavy metal, the Maiden, the chugging riffs of Maiden and the bravado of Manowar, but it's done in very much a controlled way. That's a great band photo. You've got the heavy metal claw, but literally every song on here is absolute a banger. From the initial Cave of Stenfoil, Priest of Evil, I love that. It's got really, I mean, one thing I've realised is a lot of these lyrics that are like a little bit cheesy, a little bit over the top, like Priest of Evil spits on every crucifix. These are all like kind of teenage guys at the time, I guess, and across heavy metal as a whole, the lyrics aren't generally that deep, and these are pretty shallow as you get. But Skull and Crossbones, Werewolves of the Hunt, Valpurgis Night, Flower of the Wind, Warlords, Excalibur, Thunderland. Thunderland is a great way to finish off the the album. It's High Roller, so you get the nice blank sheet. You get the nice lyric sheet. Good reproduction. I don't know what the original album was like. I know Jürgen is very much in the he's in the place with his collection where he's replacing reissues with OGs when he can find them. High Roller Records, probably 180 gram vinyl. Who really cares? No poster. There's the usual High Roller Records catalogue in here as well. I thought, is there something else? No. So, yeah, Stormwitch, Well Purchased Night. And when I listen to that, it puts you in the mood to listen to something else, if not this album over and over again. And now, the 10 albums I've got now, I'm not showing you necessarily in the order I spun them. I'm trying to show them in an order that makes sense, that if I were to spin them 1 to 10, this could be an order that I do them in. But I would often say play this one, maybe play it again, but then think, I need to listen to Jaguar. Now that's put me right in the mood for Jaguar. Funnily enough, Jaguar Power Games was one of those albums of the 10. Originally from 1987. This is 1983, not 1987. 2022 reissue on Black in Black. Picked this up in 2023. Instantly loved it, but it was still in those days of buying all sorts, so not really getting into it. But I've played this album so many times last year. This is just full on, straight new wave of British heavy metal. Doesn't take any prisoners. It's sort of 0 to 10 and then carries on all the way through. Dutch Connection, great way to start the album. But then awesome tracks like Cold Heart, War Machine. War Machine is that really has some early Diano Maiden sound to it as well. It's like one of the Maiden slower ones off those first two albums. Dirty Tricks as well. But overall, I mean, Jaguar again. I'll put this on start to finish, and then I could go back and play Stormwitch again, or it would maybe put me, because it was a little bit rawer, a little bit UK metal. I might reach for Savage, Loose and Lethal next. Again, this one came up on one of my earlier ones. It's some VCLT I got from Jim. Another High Roller Records reissue. Originally out, this was also in 1983, 2022 reissue. The hype sticker says the Ultimate Audiophile reissue of Eternal New Wave of British Heavy Metal Classic contains bonus LP with rare compilation and demo tracks, 12-page booklet, and A5 photo card. I remember seeing the A5 photo card. Maybe I've not actually pulled that one out. The demo tracks, sides 3 and 4. I think I've played it once. I love the album. In fact, most of these, I've not actually been playing the vinyl that much. I tend to listen to them digital copies on the way to work. But there we go. Nice reproduction sleeves. That's the bonus LP. It's on purple wax, which doesn't really make any sense. Apart from the hype sticker, they've made the hype sticker match the vinyl, or the vinyl match the hype sticker. I don't know. Booklet. Do you know what? I don't even know if I've read the booklet that much. It's got the lyrics in it. It's got some stories and pictures or what have you. But I'm just into the music really. If releases come with nice stuff like this, I have to forget it's in there, if I'm perfectly honest. And I don't buy things for the extras. I buy things because I want to get hold of the music. So that's why I'm not really prepared to go that extra mile. And there you go. I have never pulled these out before. So there's some A5 promo bang cards. It looks like two of the same thing. So there we go. It's the typical brilliantly done High Roller reissue treatment, and there's a poster as well, which I'm guessing is the cover. Cover's amazing. I used to think that was either something like Swedish or American because of the cover, basically. Not a band I clicked with immediately, but I don't know, just in this listening phase where I was listening to the same thing sort of over and over again, albeit over many, many months, this really fitted into this this playlist. The rawness of that would often make me hanker for a bit of Blood Money. This is a red, a raw, and a bleeding. 1986 and Sfar Records. It sounds a lot earlier. I'm wondering if it's one of the... I don't know too much about the band. I know that the OGs of this is a bit of a cult grail for a lot of people. Not so much for me, because it wasn't a band I was particularly looking for, but I would love to get an OG, don't get me wrong, but they go for absolute silly money. Hype Sticker says Blood Money were the ultimate new wave of British heavy metal cult act, playing fantastic thrashing heavy metal at a breakneck pace like no one else. This 1986 debut album comes from the latter days of the new wave of British heavy metal movement and is a perfect showcase of the genre's transformation from heavy metal to speed and thrash. Recommended for anyone into obscure but great 80s metal in the vein of Carnivore, Venom, Savage or Tank. I hadn't actually read that out loud before, so the fact that I've gone from Savage to listening to Blood Money, complete coincidence, but ultimately endorsed by the people that write Hype Stickers, so I can't be wrong. Turquoise Marble Vinyl. It's I've taken all the others out of the bag, so I didn't have to go through that, but I will on this one because the Hype Sticker's on there. But yeah, it is raw, it is speedy, it is thrashy. There's the band. They've got a sword. It's got to be good. The lyrics are fun, but it is relentless all the way through. It is raw. There is, I guess, that Venom element to them, but way better than Venom. And there's your Turquoise Vinyl, which I believe does have a little bit of a... Yeah, it's passable. It's passable. Blue-red cover. But this is really raw, in your face, savage, if you will. And that led me on to pulling out Atrophy, Socialised Hate. This is the elephant in the room. This is the only not really traditional US or UK heavy metal album that I'm showing today. But this was almost like my palate cleanser. I didn't always listen to it following Blood Money, but Blood Money put me into something a little bit thrashier. Atrophy was out. I bought this one. I got it cheap, and I hadn't really played it that much, so I grabbed it and put it on. And this is everything I want in a thrash album. It's got the infectious solos. It's got the good chugging riffs. The vocals I really like. Now I know Atrophy, or in fact all I know from Atrophy is the single that they had on Stars on Thrash, and I would have sworn blind that was the song Socialised Hate, but it wasn't. It was Chemical Dependency, and it just shows that I didn't know the album that well. There's a bit of this isn't an album that's going to make you that stands out above any and every thrash metal album you'll ever hear, but this is, I love it. Everything about this album I love. Well, apart from one song, Beer Bong, last song, it's they're trying to be too much like Tankard, and I get some Tankard influences in here, but songs like Chemical Dependency, Matter of Attitude, Preacher, absolute banger of a song. Socialised Hate and Rest in Pieces are certainly the highlights for me of this one. This was a really cheap buy from is it Amazon, or was it an Amazon seller? It's didn't say when it came out. When did this come out? This came out in 1988, and this is a 2022 reissue on Massacre. Nice, thick card, shiny insert, and it is on a piss yellow vinyl, if I remember. Yeah, not good. Again, doesn't really fit with the album. But then, when do album covers and when does it matter about aesthetics and vinyl colour and album covers, eh? There you go. But this was like, say, like palate cleanser. I put this on, and this is a thrash album I listened to most in 24, without a doubt, and have grown to absolutely love it. Yeah, covering the name there. Socialise Hate. But I listened to this, and then I would be right. I want to get back into. I was so into that heavy, traditional heavy metal sound, and I want something a little bit more melodic. So then something like Sacrifice would come out next, and this is On the Altar of Rock. Such a naff name for an album. On the Altar of Rock. On the Altar of Metal, that would sound better. But no, this is On the Altar of Rock. Nice cover. Sacrifice are they Swiss? I can't remember. They might be German, actually. German? I don't know. It says here all songs published by Gamma Verlag, Germany. And it was mixed in Germany. I can't remember. I've got a feeling they might be French. But so Sacrifice is much more melodic sounding, a heavy metal. It's very new wave of British heavy metal-y, but it's not. It's a European release. This came out in 1985. It's a 2023 reissue on Golden Core Records. In fact, everything I'm showing is reissues. I pick up mostly reissues these days. Would rather get the OGs, but I can't be asked to spend that kind of money these days. I am no longer collector scum. So it's the original album with two 12-inch singles chucked on the end. The singer's voice is quite unique on here. He's not your typical. He's certainly not your gruff or throaty heavy metal singer. He's got a good voice, but he sings with an accent. But I like it. What's his name? His name is don't know. Oh, Serge Cotelat. Butchered that one. But songs like The Eyes of the Possible, Hot Streak, Can't Understand You. Gates of Time actually is a great song, and that's one of the bonus tracks if you want off this one. Pretty bare bones release, although there is a nice inner with a write-up which I have read but can't remember anything of, and lyrics as well. But it's got almost I feel it's like almost got an indie music feel to it as well, obviously long before indie music was really a thing, but it's just, again, the vocals give it something a little bit different, and quite melodic heavy metal as well. But Sacrifice is well worth a check out. On the Altar of Rock. Griffin, Flight of the Griffin. This is a 1984 release, US metal, 2020, again on Golden Core Records. This is an album I will tell you I absolutely love, but it's one of those albums that I would struggle if I was good at singing and being confident enough on here to go, oh yeah, the song goes, and then launch into it like a lot of people can. I wouldn't be able to do it with this album because I struggle. Apart from Heavy Metal Attack, I struggle to remember what this album is like when it's not playing. When it's playing, I anticipate the next track. I know what's coming. I can sing along to it. I can hum it. But when it's off, it's gone. Now there's a video idea that I've got down somewhere, which I may get right. I'll tell you eventually. But if anyone wants to, albums that you love but are just totally not memorable once they're not on the turntable. And I've got about 5 or 6. As I say, it's one that's on my list of, and I've got a long list of potential video ideas that I'll be asked making at the moment. But Griffin is really good. US, I kind of like US power metal. Originally 1984, say 2020 reissue. I know Flight of the Griffin is good because that's towards the end of side 1. But the whole album is great, but I struggle to remember it when it's not playing. But when I play it, absolutely love it. It's mental. Again, nice collage. They're a 5-piece band. And this these Golden Core releases, distributed by ZYX Record. they do a really good job. I've got Cutty Sark album on this as well, and the single page liner notes write up that they put in there is just really good. They put in like pictures of labels of the original releases and the CDs, and pictures of the time and little bits of press cuttings, and it's just, I like that. That's enough for me. I don't need a 50-page booklet. I'm not going to read a 50-page booklet, but I am going to listen to Flight of the Griffin by Griffin. I just wish it was more memorable. But when I listen to something like that, and that gets me in the US feel for some traditional US metal. Savage Grace is an album I got massively into last year. Far from the after the Fall from Grace, their second album. It's with Christian Luge on guitar, different singer from the first album. I wasn't familiar with the first album at all. In fact, I listened to the first album pretty much all the way through the first time at Jurgen's, when I mentioned before, I got the Stormwitch album from. But this album absolutely clicked with me. I love just the soaring vocals, the melody, the speed of it. It's not fast, but I love the speed of it, and the sound of the music. And it's one of those albums that just, it doesn't let up. It just goes all the way through, and real feel good album. We came, we saw, we conquered. Great. After the Fall from Grace, great. Trial by Fire is that's more of like the evil sounding song. Absolutely fantastic. Palestinia has like a Middle Eastern type vibe to it as well. I like it when people do that. Age of Innocence, that is just pure energy. Flesh and Blood, this album for me is it's a top 50 album. As I was saying to Darcy the other day, I don't think I could do a top 50 video, because I think there would be about 80 albums in my top 50. This is a No Remorse Records reissue that came out in 2021. It's 1986 originally. Again, we've got a nice write-up. I did read that at some point. I think during this it says who the axeman is on this. I think is it Gene Hoglan? I'm not going to read through all, but it always says that he would only do it if they promised not to tell anybody who it was. And there we go. 35 years later or so, they're telling them. But lyrics as well, really well put together. Reissue on No Remorse. Decent label. Black Wax, killer album. Now, pretty much always. Now, some of the others, as I say, were interchangeable as to what I listen to next. But this album always puts me in the mood for Thundersteel by Riot. And my copy is the 30th anniversary edition. Originally 1988, 2018 Metal Blade reissue. I absolutely love this album. I love the cover. I love everything about it. But that Savage Grace album puts me right in the mood for this one. I just want to stick this one on straight after. Comes with this Metal Blade. It's well done. It comes with a nice thick card insert and a nice sort of custom. I say custom. Thundersteel labels. They are custom, but I don't know if the original had these on or not. But black vinyl as well. Oh, there's something else in here. What else is there? There's a poster of the cover as well. It's funny, isn't it? I barely know what comes in these things. They're literally, if they come with it, they come with it. But I am really not fussed about any of the innards that comes in albums these days. But start to finish, from Thundersteel all the way through to Buried Alive at the end, one of my all-time favourite albums, and it just goes so well with the pre-listen of Savage Grace. Absolutely fantastic. Now, slightly out of the last album I'm going to show is out of that traditional metal, and even Atrophy had its place because it would generally follow Blood Money with its raw, speedy thrashiness to take that crescendo and bring you back down to that traditional metal goodness. But I'm selling a lot of albums at the moment, and one of the ones I pulled out was Candlemass Tales of Creation. Again, this was in my Metal Tag 2024. I went into the reasons why in that video. I pulled this out to give it one more go before selling it, and oh my god, it blew my mind. I picked this up in 2018, and it's literally, it had a listen or two back then. I seem to remember it being this dull, turgid. I clearly wasn't in the right frame of mind for it. Fast forward 6 years, and I put it on, and it blew my mind. It is doomy. It's on Music Formations, Swayze's. The cover itself is beat up. The album's in great condition. Look. Official merchandising. You can get a t-shirt for £6.50. Look at that. Proper artist's impression of what a t-shirt may or may not look like. That's brilliant. But yes, Candlemass hit home in 2024 for me. Nice gatefold. And it's just got that mix. It's not just that slow, relentless doom. It's got that new Lynn guitar solos in there as well, and I love a new Lynn guitar solo, especially Into the Unfathomed Tower, an 8-part epic, which these guys Swedish as well. They definitely, what's the name of the guitarist? Is it Lars Johannesson? He channels his inner Yngwie Malmsteen, and perfect. So Candlemass is now a band that I consider to be awesome. Subsequently, at the end of 2024, I picked up this from a local record store because it was there cheap. It's a live album from 2007, 2008. The recording may well have been earlier, but it kind of gave me a taste for a little bit of early Candlemass. That's the track listing, if you can read it. Look on Discogs if you can't. And then I ended up picking Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. Is there an album that has more of a contrasting front and a back cover? I struggle to think of one. There are probably many. But now on a bit of a Candlemass kick, but I'm not rushing out and buying everything. I'm playing this one quite a lot at the moment. Really enjoy it. But those last two were just a little bit of a bonus, just to show how getting into albums that you've maybe not appreciated that much before can really kind of send you down a different path that you weren't expecting so much. So that was 10 albums that I've had pretty much in constant rotation. I've moved on from those now. There are other things that are that whet my appetite, and who knows, again, I may well do a follow-up to this in a few months' time. But you know what? You can't rush these things, can you? Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you next time. Maybe.